And page 7 of Parrot's notes?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's page 7 of the document, but at the top of the page has number 7 on it.
Oh, I see.
So it might be a few more pages forward. Like it might be page 9.
Oh, in his small handwriting. Okay, I see.
It's in the middle of the top of the page.
Yeah.
Once it starts with leak Balal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seif Aleph, he said,
yeah. The order of blessings and lighting. Uvohei sifim, there are 5 sifim in the siman. Hamadlik belel rishon, someone who lights on the first night, mevarech shalosh brachot, he blesses 3 blessings. The first, Hadlik ner Chanukah. The second, Sha'asa nisim. And the third, Shechianu. Ve'im lo berach zman belel rishon, and if for whatever reason you didn't make a Shechianu on the first night, let's say you forgot. So you said the first 2, but you forgot to make a Shechianu. Mevarech belel sheni, you make a blessing of Shechianu on the second night, even though you already lit last night. Or whatever night you remember to say Shechianu, you make a Shechianu on that night.
It's over one mitzvah, right?
So we're going to see this reasoning here.
This doesn't want to load your PDF. It's still there.
Yeah, the file is still there for sure. Now let's hear second halacha. Milel rishon ve'elach mevarech shtayim. From the first night and on, you bless 2 blessings: the hadlik ner and v'shas anisim. Haggah says the Ramah in little letters. V'yivarech kol haberachot kodem she'etchil hadlik. And you should say all the blessings before you light the candles. There is a minhag that once you say the first blessing, you light. I'm not telling you if this minhag is right or wrong. I'm telling you that it's more correct not to do anything while you make a blessing. Say the blessing and then light. Gimel. Mi shelo hidlik, whoever did not light, ve'ino atid la'adlik b'oto halayla, and he doesn't plan to light that night at all. V'gam en madlikim alav b'toch beito, and for whatever reason they're not lighting for him inside of his home. K'shorei ner Chanukah. So what's the case? The case is, let's say, let's give you an example. Let's say Raphael was working border patrol, night shift.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be out of the house from when you're supposed to light candles until tomorrow morning. But he doesn't sleep at work, so he's not going to light there. And he's not going to have candles. They don't let him light. He's in the Jeep on the border. There's nowhere he can light. And Raphael, he's not married, so his wife is not at home who can light for him. Yeah, I use it as an example. It's okay. So in this situation, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Take your candles to work.
No, because you have to light where you sleep.
Oh, but you're not sleeping because you're working.
And you like
What
during
if
the
you
day
take-
without a
Oh, listen,
bracha?
it could be you're spending the night somewhere. I don't know. I don't actually know the definition of sleeping.
Yeah.
But let's say like that. He cannot. For whatever reason, he's in a Jeep. He can't light candles. So what do?
You take it like during the day without a bracha?
Well, here's Maran's K'shorei ner Chanukah. When you see a Chanukah candle, mevarech sha'asa nisim. You see someone else's Chanukah candles, you make a
Say it on
blessing.
them.
Sha'asa nisim lavotenu. So you say the second of the blessings.
It's the second of the 2.
Because you're not lighting, so you can't say the blessing to light the Chanukah candles.
Right.
You make a blessing on someone else's Chanukiah. Uvelei rishon, if it's the first night, mevarech gam shechianu. You also make a shechianu. V'im achar kach b'leil sheni or shvi bad hadlik, eno chozer ver shechianu. And if, let's say, he knows tomorrow night he's going to be home, he does not repeat his shechianu. Because the shechianu he said yesterday on someone else's candles already counts for today.
Okay.
This halacha I don't think many people know. In the event that you cannot light candles, you can find someone else's candles and make a bracha on them. Which is a nice thing for the families that light in the window. So what Raphael would have to do is say, hey, where's the local rabbi's house, and drive by the window, make a blessing on those candles, and continue on his way.
Without going to one of those big candle lighting.
That's a good question. I'm not sure he could fulfill his obligation with that.
In a public place.
It could be. I don't actually know the answer to that question.
And is this similar to like the Sukkot ownership of a lulav etrog in a way?
What do you mean?
Owning a mitzvah, like you have to own the lulav etrog.
No, you don't. In Chanukah, you don't have to. By the way, some rabbis say that even if someone's lighting in his house for him, he would still have to go make a blessing on someone else's candles if he sees them, because he didn't do the mitzvah. Someone did it for him, but he didn't do it himself. Dalit, the fourth halacha. Achar sheidlik, after he lights, Omer, he says, Hanerot halalu anu madikim. These are the candles that we light, al shot, and etzim elfot. You know this stuff. Hey, יתחיל להדליק בליל ראשון, on the first night of Hanukkah, which candle do you begin with? Baner hayoter yimini, the candle that is as right as possible. So all the way on the right. Uvelei shani, the second night, כשיוסיף ner echad samuch lo, when you add another candle, you add it next to it, יתחיל ויברך על הנוסף, you make a blessing on the extra candle, שהוא יותר שמאלי, I'm turning the page, which is the most left candle. כדי להפנות לימין, why would you light the extra candle?
Left to right.
Correct. So in general, this goes against many of the rules of halacha here. But what's the reason? כדי להפנות לימין, in order so that you're always going right. The idea in Judaism to always go right. וכן בליל שני, the same as on the third night, כשהוסיף עוד אחד, סמוך שתי נרות ראשונות, יתחיל בסוף, בנוסף, you always start with the extra candle you added for tonight on the left, and you light towards the right. ובו יתחיל הברכה, and you start with the bracha on that left candle, ואחר כך יפנה לצד ימין, and then you go to the right, וכן בכל לילה, and every night, שנמצא שתמיד מברך לנוסף שהוא מורה לנס, שהרי בתוספת הימין נתוסף הנס, interesting, Maran says, you would think you would start with the right candle every night, because that's the main mitzvah, right? One candle in every house.
In fact, that's why I did it tonight. I started with the right.
That's okay. Meaning, this is all ideally, but in any case, you fulfill the mitzvah. The question is, why are we starting with the extra and not starting with the... It's like starting with dessert. You know, we're not starting with the food, we're starting with dessert. Why? Maran says the left candle is a little bit more important than the right candle. Because as the days went on, the miracle became clearer. Meaning, day 2 was a bigger miracle than day 1. Day 1 we had oil for.
Yeah.
Day 7 was greater than day 2. And therefore we always start with the one that shows the greatness of the miracle first, and then we work our way back.
So work from left to right.
Correct. Correct.
So there's this idea that you have to load them from right to left, but loading isn't
I keep
something.
hearing that.
Loading.
I don't know.
We're not reading. We didn't read load.
Right, exactly.
Right
I
now.
can't rule out that nobody ever said such a thing. I don't know who, but definitely Shulchan Aruch didn't know. Does loading really have importance to it? I don't know. Maran doesn't mention that.
It's not in maybe the small print. I don't know. Maybe.
Alright, so let's go back and look at this halachot a little bit. And then I'll pass the notes. So back to the first halakha, which is you make the 3 brachot. And then if you forget Shechianu, you can make that on every night afterwards. But if you forget, by the way, after you light candles, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, you don't make a Shechianu that night. You wait until the next time you light to make Shechianu. Okay, so Apir says here under the line, Yesh poskim rabim. There are many poskim. V'chen hu nuschat ha'arizal, and it's the nusach of the Arizal b'Shaar kavanot. Levarech, to make the blessing, lehadlik ner Chanukah. It's on the page that has the word 7 on top, letter 7 on top, number 7. Lehadlik ner Chanukah is the Rashi Tevot of Nachal, a river. And also v'chen notzer chesed na'alafim. Kindness for the multitudes. ובמשנה ברורה כתב הנוסח, משנה ברורה הנוסח is להדליק נר של חנוכה. והוסיף שכך הוא הנוסח בגמרא בפוסקים, and he writes that's the נוסח in the Talmud and in the poskim. להדליק נר של חנוכה. Some communities have a minhag shela Chanukah. I think Spanish, Portuguese, they have that minhag. The reason I read on right, Talik Ner Chanukah, he's going by acronyms and Kabbalah and spirits and things like that. I'm not, the poskim make a differentiation between Ner Chanukah. You would think to say Ner Shel Chanukah because that's like, what blessing do you make on Shabbat candles? Ner Shel Shabbat. Ner Shel Shabbat. So then Chanukah, Ner Shel Chanukah, why make a difference? What's the difference between Chanukah candles and Shabbat candles? There are many differences. But what's the difference in terms of how many mitzvot do I have on Shabbat? No,
A
in
lot.
general.
A lot.
A lot of mitzvot. Kiddush, eat a meal, whatever mitzvot you have on Shabbat. Don't do this issur, to do this mitzvah. So, candle lighting, is it the essence of Shabbat?
No.
No, it's part of what you do on Shabbat. Therefore, Ner Shel Shabbat, the candle of Shabbat. Because it's one of the many things I do on Shabbat. On Chanukah, is there any other mitzvah on Chanukah aside from lighting candles?
No.
Well, sing Hallel.
Yeah, but that's a prayer mitzvah. Anything you do unique on Chanukah, you have to give Mishlach Manot.
No.
You have to eat a meal. No. So this is the only mitzvah, and therefore, the poskim that say Ner Chanukah, the candle of Chanukah, because that's all there is on Chanukah.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you the truth, as I'm going to make a conclusion. Ulmaaseh, and the bottom line is, Minhag Sfaradim, the case of Sfaradim, Nadlik Ner Chanukah, Minhag Ashkenazim, Nadlik Ner Shel Chanukah. And yes, this is an oversimplification of this, because many Sfaradim make the blessing of Ner Shel Chanukah. And many Ashkenazim, who are Hasidim, for example, make the blessing Ner Chanukah. And to each their own. I don't believe there's a correct or incorrect way to make the bracha. And personally, I say Nadlik Ner Chanukah. They say in Morocco, the minhag was Ner Shel Chanukah. Well, they forget in Morocco, there were many places in Morocco. It wasn't one place in Morocco. And some places, Nadlik Ner Shel Chanukah. Some places, Nadlik Ner Chanukah. Could be where there was more Kabbalistic influence, it could be not. For example, yesterday, they revealed some kind of recording of the Baba Sali. The last Chanukah candle lighting he ever did, a recording, audio recording, 30 days before he passed away. And he says, Nadlik Ner Chanukah. He's Moroccan, but he's also a Kabbalist, so you can't really bring a proof. Because you don't know which was the motivator to say Nadlik Ner Chanukah. In any case, people like to make a big deal. When I asked Rabbi Perez, in terms of Sephardic Sidurim, which Sephardic Sidur should I pray with when I got married? He said, it doesn't make a difference. I said, which is like the most accurate? Like, tell me, Rabbi Adi Yosef, Rabbi Mazuz, the Moroccan, the Iraqi. He says, it doesn't make a difference. So I said, guys, don't waste your time on little letters. He told me, don't waste your time on that this one has this word and this one doesn't have that word. Just pray. That's the most important part. Everything else really doesn't make a difference. And in general, some people like this is their whole thing. I've seen people write whole articles on why you like Ner Shel Chanukah, Ner Chanukah, who's right, who's wrong, who perverted the Talmud, who did. Okay, it's exciting for people. Don't waste your time. Halacha Bet. Mevarech Shechianu b'layah rishon, you make Shechianu the first night. Let's see the. I'm skipping this. Sure. Let's look at the Dalet. You see the Dalet? It starts with Hager. See the Dalet? It's like on the right side, he has a letter with the parentheses. A letter with parentheses. It's 4 down.
It's a Rashi.
What page is this in? No?
The top of the page says, no, you're not in the Shulchan Aruch, repair its notes.
Oh.
Look in the wrong place.
Okay, so on page 7 at the top, and it's,
And it's.
yeah. So okay, so you see the Gimel and the Daled.
Dalet. You see the Dalet over there?
Yeah.
Looks like a 3.
It goes Siman.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like a 3. Hager yechol levarech Yisrael. Someone who's Hager, a convert to Judaism, makes a blessing like a Judah. Meaning, what's the question? He's saying a statement. Why would you maybe think that a person who converted to Judaism doesn't make the blessings as usual?
Because he wasn't a Jew.
Which blessing is the problematic one here? Alik Ner Chanukah, he's lighting a Chanukah candle. Shechianu, he lived till this day. So what's the
I think
problem?
something about our
Asa
forefathers.
Nisim Lavatenu made miracles for our fathers because his father wasn't a Jew.
Right. And his father was a Muslim.
Yeah.
His father was a Buddhist. So, how could he say this blessing? This question was famously addressed by Rabbi Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the Rambam, to a convert by the name of Rabbi Ovadia Hager. And he asked this question. This was his question. How can I say Eloheinu, my God, and the God of my forefathers? My God he is, but the God of my forefathers he's not.
Yeah. So how do we get around it?
The Rambam says, no, really he is your God of your fathers too. Your fathers of Avraham Avinu. And anybody who joins the Jewish people, literally he becomes a child of Avraham Avinu. He doesn't have to worry. But it seems like Ovadia Hager was struggling a little bit. He didn't want to sound like a liar. So the Rambam told him that Vim Yirtzeh Leshanot, and if he really doesn't want to say something that he thinks might be false, he can change the blessing. V'lomar she'asa nisim l'Yisrael, who made miracles for the Jewish people. He can. If this bothers him so much to say the God of my fathers, my God and the God of Israel, he can say such a thing. Who did miracles for Israel, then and now. He can say such a thing. Now, this is a big deal because really you're not allowed to change brachot. Brachot are pretty standard. But here there's a value to midvar sheker tircha. You want to stay away from a lie. In a world where a person is respected for being a ger tzedek, you wouldn't have to worry about someone, oh, he's making the weird blessing. It'll be understood that this person is in a pursuit of truth. From what I know today, everybody prays as usual, and that's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. But the next person who might have a problem with the blessings of Hanukkah is the mourner, God forbid. Not somebody who. Someone who's in mourning. Which blessing is the problem? Nadikna Hanukkah? No. Who did miracles for our forefathers?
No.
No. Which is the problem? Shechianu. How does a person make a shechianu in a time when they're mourning? It's a shiva.
What if it was Yom Tov? Of course,
It is Yom Hanukkah is Yom Tov. The question is, how can he make a shechianu? Yeah, so this question will apply to Yom Tov also.
Yeah.
It's the same. He makes the three brachot. At the end of the day, this is a Yom Tov for all of Am Yisrael. He's part of Am Yisrael, and that's why he makes this blessing.
So when you get a new item of clothing, because you left it kind of open when we discussed it in the past.
I gave a class about it on Sunday. Yeah. Well, what's the question?
So do you make it on a new item of clothing?
Are you happy when you get the new item of clothing?
Sometimes, yeah. If
Sometimes-
it fits.
Nice threads.
Sometimes are you not happy?
I'll
Are you as happy when you buy a sweater as you are when you buy socks?
Well, definitely sweaters more than socks.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
So it
socks
should be
and
something.
underwear.
There should be something significant. Meaning,
So,
if buying a jacket for you is really a big deal, so then make a shechianu. When I told this story on Sunday. When I first went to Israel, I lost my black hat on the bus. So new Shiva Bakar, my parents bought me a hat to go to Israel with a $250 hat. And I put it on the bus and I left it there. And my grandmother was so upset at me. Your parents, you're wasting your parents' money. Okay, fine. So I went to buy another hat. And when I got it, so I never thought about it. Do I make a shechianu on a new hat? So her parents wasn't in the yeshiva at the time. And I went to ask the Rosh Kollel, Rabbi Israel. I said, "Do I make shechianu on this hat?" He says, "Are you happy?" I said, "I don't know." So I can't answer this question. This question, you are the one that has to answer the question. If you're happy, make a shechianu. And if not, don't make a shechianu. There's no real way to codify these halachot. There is an assumption on the street, and it seems to be this is the minhag, so to speak, that people don't make a shechianu on anything anymore. Maybe on a suit, on a wedding dress, but because everything to them is insignificant. I think that's what the minhag is
Cynical.
quoted. It's a very sad situation. Meaning giving thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a big mitzvah. The Rambam
Same as
says
it ever was.
whoever will make shechianu more often is praised.
That's like Al Pasal making the shechianu for a new wedding dress.
Imagine the
Such is
absurd.
expensive.
Imagine the absurd. You buy a new car. How much does a car cost you?
Too much.
You get 115,000. Well, you know
Or
you
you get a
wouldn't.
Tesla for 70.
Okay, let's say what's the average cost of a car? Not a Tesla, a Porsche.
25.
25?
Yeah, that's about right.
$25,000 you buy a car. The poskim say, well, the custom is we no longer make blessings of shechianu on objects. Only on certain things, like fruit. So they tell you, go to the store and buy a fruit you haven't eaten last year and make a shechianu on that fruit. This is an absurd situation. The car you spend $25,000 on, they're telling you, you're really happy about, they're telling you cannot make a shechianu on. But the fruit that you would never go think to buy because you don't like it, and it costs you what? How much those?
$6 for
Yeah,
dragon fruit.
exactly, $6. You're choosing to make a shechenu on the $6 fruit you don't really like, instead of making a shechenu on your car for $25,000, which is the greater one that you're thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for. But this is how halakha ends up looking upside down. They're so afraid of saying Hashem's name in vain. By the way, when do you make a shechenu blessing? You buy a new suit. When do you make shechenu?
When you put it on the first time.
That's the minhag. The minhag is when you put it on. But according to halakha,
Even when you try it on.
according to halakha, once you complete the transaction,
Oh, really?
it's in your hand, you own it.
It's kind of strange, because like if you buy a new suit, you get it tailored and stuff, so it really, so when do you say the Shechianu?
Well, some people want to say that when you first wear your suit, like that's the greatest joy at that point. That's not what the Shulchan Aruch says. But that's a logical svah. Okay, what about when you buy a new fruit? When do you make shechenu?
When you eat it.
So not at well, that's today they do when they eat it, and it's not at the time of purchase either. According to halakha, it's when you see it for the first time.
Oh.
You know when you come to the store and you see like, oh wow, all the exotic fruits came back this season.
That's mine.
But really, that's the time to make a shechenu.
Makes sense.
But nobody does that anymore. All the halachot, I'm upside down.
It's like seeing a beautiful sight.
There's a limit to how many words I'm going to find in halakha, and that when you make a blessing on a jackfruit, is like the least
It's like
of
when
my.
you make a blessing on when you see a tzaddik or a chacham.
Those are also halachot.
Yeah. Or when you see.
I made a blessing on Rabbi Yosef when I said. My friend made it out loud and he screamed at my friend, it's a blessing in vain. I'm not that big of a Talmid Chacham. So I told our parents, that he had to do it. He had to do it, you had to do it, you had to do it. That was...
We also make brachot on shooting stars and thunder
Kings.
and kings.
on Gentile scholars, like brilliant scholars.
And seeing large numbers of people.
People seeing graves destroyed, seeing cities built, all kinds of brachot to make. People don't really know these brachot. One day we'll learn through all of them.
But would you do it, let's say you're just buying, let's say, socks and underwear?
No.
No.
It's not so significant for me.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Sometimes I buy a new talit, I make shechenu, a new suit, I make shechenu. You know yourself when you get a new. Someone once asked, I don't know who it was, what bracha do you make when you buy yourself a new TV? Shechenu? He says no. You say Baruch Adayin Ha'emet. You know, like it's you have to know. You have to know what it is. Like for example, if you buy a phone and there's $1,000 iPhone, you can make a shechenu. There's on the assumption you're going to use this phone for good things.
Yeah.
If you have a bad business you're running or other things that a person's doing, don't embarrass HaKadosh Baruch Hu by saying
Gambling,
shechenu on things that you're not supposed to be happy for.
That have just as much bad in it as it does good.
It's like giving a donation to shul after a drug deal.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's happened.
Yeah.
Many
it happens,
times.
Years make donations when thank you Lord for not getting it for I didn't get arrested this time for doing a drug transaction.
Let's see this whole question here on the Halacha Vav. So if you look in Repair to Notes, it's under the second long line that's underlined. It says Vav, it looks like a 1 with a parenthesis.
Is it further up? Or?
It's further down. It's in the middle of the page.
It's like a line.
Yeah. The word is hatam after that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the reason why you make shechenu on the first night and not on every night?
Yeah, I noticed that in the Siddur. Yeah, it's only the first night. Yeah.
You're still on page 7?
Yeah.
I don't
Nes
know.
shel kol yom, sharei kol shmona yamim idliku mo min hapach. Every day there was a miracle. And because they lit from that same jug of oil. Avazman, but the shechianu, our chachamim don't call the blessing of shechianu. They call the blessing of shechianu zman, the blessing of zman, of time. It's that you reach this time.
Oh.
Yes, whenever you see zman in the poskim, that's what they're talking about. Mishiganu tchat hazman igianu. Pirush, what does it mean? Shanachnu muvachim lo yitbarach shatanu chayut hazman shenasa bo nes. We give Hashem thanks that He gave us life until this moment that we're saying shechianu, this time where the miracle began. Shatanu shat mimah chayut. He gave us a whole complete year life. Ve'amash litvasef hanes b'chol v'yom sheach levar she'asa nisim. So we give thanks to Hashem in the first night, she'asa nisim lavotenu, and shechianu. Shechianu, thank you Hashem for letting me live until another Chanukah. That second blessing you say, she'asa nisim lavotenu, who made miracles for our forefathers then and now, This blessing you say on the additional miracle that happens every night. So why do you make, the real question we're asking is, why do you make a shachenu in the first night, but not on the rest of the nights? But you make the second blessing, Shasani Sim Lavotenu, on all the nights. And he's explaining, the Shechianu blessing is on reaching the holiday of Chanukah. Whereas the blessing, Shasani Sim Lavotenu, is on every day of the miracle that happened on Chanukah. Okay, the Rama says, if you look in Zion, it's the next parenthesis, it's like I'm skipping some lines. V'yivarech kodem she'yatchil hadik. The Rama says you have to make the blessing before you light candles. Shekol hamitzvot mevarchim kodem asiyat mitzvah. Because in all the blessings, you have to make the blessing before you do the mitzvah. Isn't that amazing? And by Chanukah, the Rama is being very particular that you have to say the blessing before. Whereas by Shabbat candles and by washing your hands, he doesn't. Interesting to note.
How about lechem?
Yeah, well, yeah. But that's not a mitzvah. That's a food blessing. It's different.
So Shabbat bread Friday night is not.
There are three kinds of brachot. Remember, the blessings you make on a mitzvah, like on tefillin, on a talit, on candles. The blessings you make on enjoyment, like food, drink, and then the blessings you make on
Things that are commanded.
that's the first category, mitzvot. The second category is enjoyment. And the third category, thanksgiving blessings. Like shachanu, like hagomen. Those are the blessings you make in thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Is Gomel Nida Rabbanim?
All the brachot are midrabanan, because we didn't have brachot before our rabbis. But the concept of giving thanks for these things is found in Tehillim. Remember the Tehillim we read on Pesach? And then we have here, Yodun Adonai Chazdo v'niflotam livnei Adam. Give thanks to Hashem first again. Over there it mentions four things: crossing oceans, crossing deserts. It mentions, so that's where we learn out these ideas of saying Hagomel for these four categories. So you find that there is a concept of saying Hagomel, but the institution of the specific blessing is by the Chachamim. Kind of like we knew I had to put on tefillin for the giving of the Torah, but until the Chachamim instituted the blessing on tefillin, we didn't make blessings on tefillin. That's an interesting question. What happens if you forgot to make the brachot before you lit your Hanukkah candles?
Just light spontaneously, and now you forget.
Yeah, you lit like you were talking. You lit, and you did. Yeah, no, you weren't talking. You were distracted. You made the. Yeah, you lit, but you forgot to make a bracha. So what do you do then?
I think you're stuck till
Say
next
the
day.
bracha and then look at the candles.
Just say the bracha, I know.
Or say the bracha on someone else's menorah.
Can you say the bracha? Do you want to turn
Actually-
off the heat, please?
Oh.
Yeah. And how did you make a bracha once you already lit the candles?
You can't have to wait till the next night.
So what do you do?
You don't say the bracha till the next night.
It doesn't take away from lighting the mitzvah of lighting the candles.
Some say that if you're in the middle of lighting the candles, you can still make the blessings.
No.
But you're still in the middle of doing the mitzvah. But if you finished, what if you already finished lighting all the candles? That logic doesn't apply. Remember Raphael on guard duty?
Say the bracha and then light them again.
No, because you already did the mitzvah.
Yeah.
Remember Raphael on guard duty? What happens if Raphael can't light Hanukkah candles that night?
Oh, he says the one blessing.
It says the one, but
that we can
Shasanisim
still
or
do it.
Shachianu.
So you can still do
Meaning,
that.
his own candles can't be worse than the candles he sees in someone else's window.
Okay.
So it says you can say, not the
Yes.
first blessing to light, because he really lit, but he can say Shasanisim Avotenu.
Okay.
And if it's the first night, he can say Shachianu, because it can't be that his own candles that he lit are going to be worse than the candles he finds in the street that someone else lit.
From someone else.
Yeah.
So go ahead and say the first
And the second and the third blessing, but
Second
not
and
the
third.
first one.
Okay.
So the entire lighting of 8 nights is one mitzvah, one thing? Or is there a separate
individual.
mitzvah for each night?
Every night is its own mitzvah.
So you do an
So
eight.
it's not like a Sefirah to Omer.
Oh, you're gonna get yourself in trouble right now.
Advanced.
I'm not getting in trouble. I learned
Sfirat
that.
Omer, there are two opinions by Sfirat Omer. One opinion says it's one long mitzvah that has 49 parts to it. And the other opinion says every night is its own mitzvah. If you forget to light Hanukkah candles the first 2 nights, can you light the third night or not?
Yeah.
Yes. According to the first opinion that Sfirat Omer is one long mitzvah, if you forget the first 2 nights, can you continue with the bracha?
No.
No. According to the second opinion, if you forget 20 nights, now it's night 21, can you count with the bracha?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Every night
It's its own mitzvah.
his own mitzvah. Really, halacha could be like the second opinion. But because it comes to saying Hashem's name in vain, we don't want to be so lenient. And therefore, what's the halacha if one forgets to count one night?
You do it the
Say
following night.
Yeah, but
Or you can say it during the
they
day without a
continue
bracha.
without a bracha.
Yeah, without
The whole thing?
Why? Because really it's a mitzvah. You still are getting a mitzvah for counting. So why not make a bracha? Because now there's a doubt as to whether or not we're supposed to say Hashem's name. When there's a doubt and about a bracha, we're lenient about it. We don't make the bracha, but people, they feel like, oh, if I don't make the bracha, I might as well not do the mitzvah. But those are people who don't know halacha. They don't understand properly. They're getting this. If you put on tefillin without a bracha, you've got a mitzvah for tefillin.
Yes.
Yeah, so why do you, oh, if I can't make a bracha, I'm not going to put on tefillin. That's a crazy thing to say. Only an ignoramus thinks like that.
Why?
In fact, there are some cases, I know I'm on camera, it's dangerous what I'm telling you. If I know a person's like that, just keep counting with the bracha. And it's not correct, but if that's going to keep them counting, then that should keep them counting. Unless it's the lady. Ladies count. Sfirat Omer. They're not supposed to count the bracha. According to the Mekubalim, they shouldn't even count without a bracha. It's a damaging. The Mekubalim say whatever, I don't know Kabbalah. Whatever's coming to fix Sfirat Omer can hurt a lady. Because of that, the Ben Ish Chai says that women shouldn't even count without a bracha. What do I do in my house? I count Sfirat Omer at home for my wife. She hears, says, oh man, I said bracha. We're one person anyways, according to Halacha.
Whenever you say a bracha on food and you don't remember if you had said it before, it happens to me all the time lately. Sign of years getting on or something.
Zev, that's not a question for me.
That's
So, you know where I run into that problem a lot is after going to the potty and washing my hands and
Sure, it's not.
you know, and then it's like, oh, you do this, you do that. Oh, did I say the bracha?
By saying Hashem's name, try to err on the side of caution, meaning not to say his name. What some poskim would say is you should say the blessing, but don't say Hashem's name in the blessing. Baruch Shalom. Other poskim say skipping Hashem's name in a blessing makes the whole blessing invalid. So what's the point of that? Okay, to each their own. One of the poskim says you say Baruch and then you think about Hashem's name in your mind and then you say. I don't have a solid answer which one you should do that's more correct.
Already remember you said it before, then you say Bershi and Kavod. Or you like a different fruit. Let's say, like during the meal, for example, I had olives, and I said dates, and then afterwards I have some blackberries, and I said eights, and it hurt.
Who's the host?
Me.
You knew you were gonna have blackberries? You knew you were gonna have many things that had a Hayes blessing?
No, I just decided, okay, I'm gonna have some blackberries.
When you said Hayes, what, you thinking only about olives?
Yeah.
That's a good question. You don't know what you're gonna eat in your meal?
Sometimes it gets spontaneous. Have some berries. Oh, I want some
I
blackberries.
got it. I mean, last time when you made a blessing, you had in mind to bless on anything Hayes that's gonna come.
I've seen I've been to a lot of Sudot on Shabbat and Yom Tov where people would make motzi, and then they put out something like dates and they'll say a beret priya eitz before saying Birkat HaMazon.
Well, because the question is, I do that.
So what is the reason for that?
Because Hamotzi doesn't cover everything in the meal.
I thought it did.
Hamotzi only covers the things that you would eat with bread.
Eat with bread.
Dates might be an interesting question, because
Yeah,
there is
because
a
you
date
could-
spread that you could put on bread.
And some people, like in Middle Eastern countries, they eat bread and dates and cheese as a meal.
Right, like for example, salad. The reason we make a bracha on salad is because really you eat a falafel with a salad inside, a pita with a salad, or shawarma, falafel with a salad, or you eat sandwiches with lettuce and tomatoes inside of it. So it is something you eat with bread. Whereas ice cream, for example,
Yeah.
you don't eat ice cream with bread.
No, it's singular.
Therefore, that would perhaps warrant its own blessing. Some poskim say it doesn't warrant its own blessing. Some poskim say that ice cream, it's a problem. So some say make a B'Kana Hamazon first, some say don't make a blessing. It's not. It's a bench says you eat some ice cream with your bread just to show that.
Ice
Well,
cream
that's-
sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Original ice cream sandwich. Halacha chet over here. Let's see. Mishnah Bura.
Thank you.
V'im b'yom rishon lo hidlig. And if what happens if on the first night you didn't light it? Shesamach al ishto, because you were relying on your wife. V'hi b'cha shechenu. She was lighting for you at home. You were traveling, and I'm only going to be home later tonight. You light for all of us. Remember, we said that you could do that. But she also makes a shechianu. The question is, what happens on the second night when you light the Chanukiah? Do you repeat shechianu? Or do you rely on her shechianu?
Rely on her.
I think you say Shechian. I can't remember. Daily Halacha had something about this.
I'm sure.
I'm trying to
Well,
remember.
if you're still
What is it?
away.
No, you're back. Now you're back for
You're
the second night.
back, okay.
Kaf HaChaim says, "Im bad alik b'leil sheni, eino tzarich levar shechenu." You don't make a shechenu on the second night because your wife made it for you.
But it was specifically expressed that she would do that.
Well, you asked her to light candles for you,
Yes.
or she lit candles for you because she knew you were traveling.
So the shechia is a package deal then with the lighting candles.
Let me say about hanerot halalu. Our parents, in particular, many things that are not obligatory, like not a bracha, to not say the word anu, but to say the word anachnu. They both mean the same thing. It means us, we. These candles we are lighting. Anu is the same root as the word aninut, God forbid, that when a person passed away. The first are an onen, and then they're an avel. Anachnu is the same word, but it has a chet. Our parents prefers to stay away from words that have also negative connotations to them. Sometimes our parents, when he reads a part, even in the Shulchan Aruch or in the Tanakh, he'll get to a word. It's not during Torah reading. Or Torah reading, read everything. He's teaching. There's a certain word, and he won't say it, or he'll spell out the word. He doesn't want to read it. Even though it's in the Torah, it's not a word he wants to say. It's not a halacha, and I'm sure there are people who are, there in general, you live in a world today, you respect all kinds of people you shouldn't respect. Accept this, tolerate that. But there are certain people that are very sensitive. They have sensitivities. I don't mean they're not finicky. Parents are sensitive not to say bad things. Other people are sensitive not to use vulgar language. We make fun of people like that. And we don't appreciate sensitivities as something holy or something pure. But it's a good thing. My wife's mother's father, so my wife's maternal grandfather, Rabbi Daniel Goldstein, he was very particular when they spoke Yiddish not to use words that were vulgar. I said, what's an example of a vulgar word? There are very bad words in Yiddish. The religious people don't use those words. They shouldn't use those words. Unfortunately, a lot of people who uphold the Yiddish culture are not followers of Torah so much. He would never use the word fres. There's two words in Yiddish. I don't know what I know about Yiddish. I know from my wife. Es is to eat. Fres is like to feast on that food, like to stuff your face, to eat a lot of food. Yo, did you fres in that wedding over there? He would never use the word fres. Eat. Don't fres. That's not a correct. A Jew shouldn't use that word. No, but it's in Yiddish. Doesn't make a difference. That was what he considered a vulgar word. Forget cursing. I mean, he never would say that word.
It's more like
Pigging out or
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
piggy, and
gorging,
exactly
yeah.
like that. In Halacha, glutton or
a glutton.
a raftan, or someone who looks like a starving. It's not appropriate to be like that. Even if you're hungry, eat like a mensch. And this is a certain sensitivity. I don't expect other people to have. As for instance, someone asked me if I could use an umbrella on Shabbat. So the students of our pales, we don't use umbrellas the whole year. Why not? Oh, halacha, I can. That's not a halacha. Our parents has sensitivity. He sees people in the street, they walk around with umbrellas. You ever seen in New York how it works in the winter with umbrellas? Who gets their way in the street? They call it umbrella wars. Whoever has the biggest umbrella. And sometimes you see people, they really have like a family-sized umbrella for one person.
Yeah.
And our parents believes it's not halakha. It's not even. It's a hanhaga. This is what you call it. It's not a minhag. A hanhaga is like an action that some of us. I don't think all the students or parents even know this. He feels it's a very arrogant thing to walk down the street holding this huge canopy above you. there's nothing wrong with you want to do it. He doesn't want to be the person who takes up more room on the street than he should.
Well, there used to be in many cultures where the nobility would be walking and someone would hold a big umbrella
umbrella.
over them as they walked.
Oh, interesting. So
a-
my parents always say, so you have a rain hat, something that will let the rain go off you, and you wear a raincoat, and so what happens if your shoes get wet? Big deal. It's not going to hurt you. You're not so special.
like those triangles with the plastic covers on.
Like a casquette, I wear that in the rain when it rains. We don't use umbrellas. There's nothing wrong with an umbrella. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's no halakha against it. Anyone who uses an umbrella is doing nothing wrong. But our parents, that's sensitivity, not to take up more room in the world than he needs to take up. And
But you can't use it on Saturday. On Shabbat.
Shabbat's a different story, right? All right, Chava, we'll continue tomorrow. B'ezras Hashem.
It's not-